Rolex Middle Series is the Royal Multi-Yacht Club's premier event, always held in October, and we're here celebrating the 32nd edition. Every Maltese boat always wants to do it. As a club, we work all year round preparing for the event, and I know from past experience when I've done the race that you really need to dedicate hours and hours and hours of boat preparation and crew training.
This will be my 32nd Rolex Middle Sea race after having competed in all the previous 31 races since 1968. So we've started the first race with 8 boats. Today we're hitting the 80 mark, and hopefully I look forward to the race growing even further.
I was 17 years old, must have been about 1978 or something, and I haven't missed one since. So I've done the last 22. It's not an easy race to win. It's very, very competitive. You need to sail this race as if you're doing around the Cairns race, but for 600 miles. So it's a full-on race. You need a crew with a lot of energy. You need a crew that gets on. It's a very tiring race.
Whilst the 9 Maltese entrants are hoping to end a run which stretches back to 2002, since the Rolex Middle Sea Race trophy stayed on the island, a competitive race is predicted throughout the 69-strong fleet. Defending the Line Honours crown and favourite to do so in 2011 is Igor Simčić's Ezimit Europa 2. Elsewhere, Andres Soriano's Allegre has twice won the Rolex Middle Sea Race, Line Honours in 2008 and as overall winner in 2009. Nicholas Zenström's Ran 2 is seeking to extend an impressive winning streak after recent victories at the Rolex Fastnet race and the Mini-Maxi Rolex Worlds.
The fact that it's a 600-mile race that starts and finishes in the same place is pretty unique. The Fastnet sort of a little bit goes that way, but you know, we do this big lap around, and the weather you get always in this part of the world very, very changeable. Whereas we might set off on a Sydney-Hobart race or something like that, thinking, hey, it's going to be windy the whole way. This race, very unusual. You're going to have the same pattern of wind the whole way around. So there's an awful lot of changing, difficult, unusual scenarios, and invariably you will get everything from very little wind all the way up to sort of gale force breeze, all in the the 3 days that we're out there. So it is actually quite a unique race of the Ocean Classics. This race has come on a lot in its standing, I think, as well. It's come from being a very interesting race that we used to like to come and do towards the end of the year to being a really classic 600-mile race that we really want to come and Nicholas laid down, as he often does, our kind of focus and where we want to spend our time. He's put this race in very high regard in terms of where we should spend our resources and time this year. So I think we're probably more focused on this race as part of a much bigger program than we have been in the past. I don't see it being a particularly windy race. It's not going to be a race where we're going to have sustained winds of 40 or 50 knots, maybe like we have 2 years ago. I think there's some periods of very, very light breeze, and the question is how that works for different boats. I think that the big thing in this race will be that when we all finish up and you ask us what we did and how it was, if you ask the guys on the 70-footers and then you ask the guys on the 30-foot cruising boats, you're going to get a very different answer. I think the timing and where you are in the system is going to be the thing that dictates exactly what weather you get.
I think the highlight of the Rolex Middle Series is the start line in the Grand Harbour in Valletta, and possibly Straits of Messina and Stromboli. I think rounding Stromboli when it's erupts every 20 minutes and just stopping there.